Hi, Christine here again. I just thought I would kind of show off some of my power jewelry, including some pieces that I have made. Um, Again, I had pointed this one out before. That is uh, the resin uh, hawk skulls. A very symbolic necklace for me. It's one I had a vision of when we were up in Aitken, in an old area where there used to be Hopewell Indians, that they know there's been some out in that area. And we were out walking, and I just about got knocked off my feet by what I saw. This year I'm painting a card for my former mother-in-law that she got me pictures of my kids that I hadn't seen. They were during the divorce, and my kids were a lot younger, and I have to paint a swallow-tailed butterfly on this yet, but the handmade paper is done by my son, and there's rose petals and all sorts of things in that still on the table. Just thought I'd show it off. Anyway, some of my other power pieces. This one here came from the iron piece itself, and it is iron. It's hand hammered, hand forged. Got it from the one, I think he's the oldest blacksmith at the Renaissance Festival, and he's been there the longest. He works on site, and this is at Minnesota, of course. He makes these into belt buckles, but I said I wanted the end turned because I just had an idea of seeing this as a necklace. It's kind of my version of Thor's hammer. It's one of my power pieces. I often wear this with a other pentacles or something like that, just to kind of balance my own power. So I have representation of male and female. As you can see, it is a bit phallic. Yeah. And I just threw hemp on there just for the fun of it. I don't know if that means a condom or what we're talking about there. Oh well. One of the stones, this is actually the stone that made me fall in love with citrine in the first place. And this came from a craft sale that I had been at. And just absolutely beautiful stone. I mean, there's a lot of problems, a lot of inclusions with it and stuff. But the way the lady had made this necklace, she had lapis on here and malachite and looks like yellow quartz chips, then glass, and she did peyote stitch for a wrap on it. And I just fell in love with this piece, and it was the first time I'd really seen the fire inside of citrine. I just never really paid much attention to that stone before. For a long time I thought that stones that were in blue were mainly it, but I've really drifted towards more the fire and the yellow, a lot more than amethyst or anything else actually. I have a kind of travel wand. This one is clay. I got it at the Minnesota Renaissance last year. There's glass in the glaze, or the only part that was glazed is right there. Maybe, well, it looks like the rest of it probably is, but it's just a plain white glaze. Some people would think it's kind of ugly. I think it's cool. I liked it. I bought it. I got it pretty cheap too. I was happy with that. As you can hear, this is my little bit of annoyance. Sometimes especially if I know there's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of singing, and a lot of dancing at ritual, because I have done some belly dance, and I'm trying to get back into it and get my figure back into shape. I like things with a lot of noise. My fiance had made this. I think this is Japanese 6-in-1. I don't remember offhand, but the bells are from India. I put those on. But it's just a lovely little noisy piece, and unfortunately when I wear it, I have a tendency to shimmy with this on, and it can get really irritating for everybody else around me, especially if we're trying to have a quiet moment at ritual, because me being quiet's not exactly the biggest thing in the world. I'm a bit of a blabbermouth. This is one of my power pieces. This came from Tibet a while back. I had purchased it on eBay. My son has a matching one. I have just learned how to do this wire work, actually. And I think I'm going to try and reproduce it in copper. I don't know how I'm going to reproduce the dragon's head yet. But if I feel like communing with the dragon a little bit, I will wear this piece. And I've been wearing this more and more, which is probably not necessarily a bad thing when you want power, when you want to feel empowered. Dragon's a great symbol for that sort of thing. And recently it's helped me because we just got a house. We're going in to be in it by May 1st, so I'm pretty excited. And of course I have had this thing on all week, and I think it's kind of a little bit of my good luck charm, or at least telling people, hey, I'm not a girly girl, don't try to push me over. If anything, if it doesn't do anything else, it's telling people I'm not one to be pushed on and given crap to, because I have a little bit more intensity than that. I forgot the person on Etsy that I got this. If you check my Etsy store, she is on my favorites. This is hand-done ceramic in her own kiln at home. The back is unfired, of course. This is just kind of a simple pentacle. Nobody really pays attention to this kind of pentacle. This was like $6. Just really, really pretty. And it came strung, of course. Like I said, all handmade. This is good if you want to wear a pentacle out and you're afraid that people are going to really catch on to what you're doing, because they just, you know, they don't really notice this one. It kind of one that kind of disappears a little bit. Ankle belt my fiance made me a while back for, again, for belly dance. I sometimes wear this at ritual because even though we're in a public place, I do go barefoot. And I like the feel of this against my ankle. And of course, I like the noise. I'm very much unnoisy, but I've heard that bells chase away fairies. I don't know, but it kind of just, the movement to me, just, I love movement. And, you know, I'll sit there and I'll rock the kids I take care of and everything. Doesn't matter how many tubes they have or anything. I just like to be moving. And this has movement, and then of course it has that luscious little noise that I love so much. Yes. Of course, the other power piece, you've seen me wear this in a previous video about the horse totem. Even though the horse is, I guess maybe it probably is one of my totems. I've never really thought of it because the horse was so much a part of my regular life that even though I was, you know, I was 14 and we were live action role playing on horseback, that we were elves out chasing down orcs and stuff like that, you know, well before I even read Lord of the Rings, which is part of the cool part here. But this came from the Horse Expo in Minneapolis. It was a clay artist that does these. She sells a lot of these. Friend of mine bought this for me, and my friend is just such a sweetheart. And there's dyed blue howlite on here, and these unfortunately are plastic, which I may someday just redo this whole section here because I'm not a fan of plastic. The necklace itself, focus! The necklace itself is actual turquoise and old silver that I just let tarnish. Bad me. Wasn't strung the greatest, but my father had gotten me this necklace well before he passed away. This was after we had made up. I hadn't seen my father. He took off when I was 5, and I was a little afraid of him before that. And I guess, and I remember being thrown out of the truck when he left, out of the red truck. And he had called me a bitch like my mother, and he left with a 15-year-old girl, my babysitter. And he was, you know, in his 30s. Well, at that point, you know, I had thought I pretty much for years thought that he was dead. And this is kind of a point, if you just happen to be skimming along YouTube videos and see this one and you are somebody who is thinking of giving up your kid, I don't care if you can't have custody, you know, as far as you can't, you aren't able to take care of your kid for whatever reason. You're going to seriously frickin' regret if you just disappear from their life. My father, I didn't see him for 27 years. And I was happier for a long time thinking that he was dead, honestly. I gave no thought to him at all. He was just gone. And I had my stepdad. And, I mean, I had an up and down life. I mean, more so than most other kids do. But all in all, I mean, I turned out to be a really decent person. I've had a lot of love in my life, as you can see. And I turned out okay. But then he showed up at my doorstep after I'd gotten married at the place we were living. And I don't know how he found me, but the first words out of his mouth are, "I'm sorry." And we just started making up that day. And came to terms with everything that had happened. And he got involved with his kids and stuff like that. And he passed away on Good Friday, I think like 4 years ago now. And I actually inherited the truck that my father left my mom and I in. And I had that sold, of course, because it was an old Chevy and I was not going to go to Colorado to go get it, especially since it wasn't running. But I had inherited the same truck. I swear this is a country song because I also got his cowboy hats and his cowboy boots that sit by my door in my house. So kind of symbolic there that he's come home. And after the alcohol and drugs and everything, yeah, he kind of did come home. And, you know, people say that forgiveness is only a Christian thing and stuff. No, it's not. It's something that's within us. If we decide that we want to make amends, if we want to forgive somebody for stuff that has happened, you know, if they're genuine, what do you do when they come to your door and the first words out of their mouth is, "I'm sorry," after all that time? You can't just turn somebody away. And I'm glad I didn't, because we got to make up, and my kids had a grandpa, and that was, you know, something more than I had. But he didn't replace my stepdad either. My stepdad was the one who raised me, and he's my dad. I mean, that's just it. He's my dad. He's awesome. I love him. He's just my dad. But my father, I decided that part of the symbolic, part of forgiveness, part of reconciliation, which also help bring me some personal power and bring me some strength. So that is why his necklace is with this piece. And yes, my father was also into horses. So is my stepdad, my mom, everybody's been into horses. Tangle, tangle, tangle. Oh, crap. Yeah, I tangled. Okay, this one you guys have seen me wear in previous videos. This is my male representation of the pentacle. It's all done in copper. I had to do extra copper along here just because of the wire, and I wanted it to lay a certain way. There's just a glass bead with little stars on it here. Just simple copper wire work. I did the frame as well. Was one of my first copper wrapping pieces, and this is my, if I feel like having a little bit more inner strength, I will wear this one. I also wear this one out in public, and so far nobody's made any comments. I wear this one all the time. It's not just a ritual piece. This one, if I feel the need that I have to have a little extra oomph, or if I'm trying to ward off somebody's negativity, sorry about the shadow here, I will wear this one. This amulet bag I made out of, I don't care about the sewing on this one. I made this out of an old Italian leather wallet that I had found in a bunch of craft stuff. There's brass pentacle just thrown on the front. There's citrine, garnet, glass, copper, quartz, aventurine, and more glass. the clasp on the end, which I don't use, but it's kind of there. It catches in my hair, unfortunately, but this was out of my grandmother's, step-grandmother's craft collection as well. Inside, I have feathers from various power birds. I have ashes that are mixed with my own blood. This was one of the times that I had done blood work. I believe I have a coin in here as well. See, I don't even know. This bag has been sealed. I don't know what's in here. This replaces my old amulet bag that had some other stuff in there as well. It never gets opened. The ritual that I had used to enchant that was pretty intense. This one, I'm excited to start wearing this. Now, I had made the pentacle with the flower itself the same year that I had done the horned male pentacle. And this one, the flower, again, is out of my step-grandmother's craft collection. It was a brooch that was in there. I broke it apart and used it on here. And this was the second piece I had wired wrapped, and of course it's much neater. And I think I was trying to come to terms with her too, and the fact that my own grandparents, my real grandparents, were all dead. My sister had good grandparents that spent a lot of time with her, and you know, I wanted a piece of that, and all of a sudden I was the one who got granted all of her craft stuff and everything, and I found some treasures in there, I'll tell you. But dang, I gotta get out of this shadow. The phone's making a shadow. I'm sorry about that. This is all copper. There's bronze here. The heart's copper. The chain is copper. This is coppered and patina. This is a goddess figure that I had found at, I think it's Bead Unique in the Mall of America. This leaf is from Michael's. It's one of their industrial sets. And I have a red crystal and I have a copper fired crystal on here. I just finished this one. I'm excited to wear it out. That's going to be one of my, with my hair caught in it. That's going to be one of my public pieces that I don't care if anybody notices it or not. They're probably going to, and I'm expecting that, really. I am out of the broom closet, and I'm not shy about that. But it's also going to be a new one for ritual as well. Some people only use certain jewelry for ritual. I don't. I use what I feel I need to use and what I enjoy at the time. And that's pretty much about it. So I just thought I'd share those little pieces, kind of my own little witchy haul of a video here, but not really, because it's actually years of handmade stuff in this. So yeah, there we go. There's stories behind a lot of these pieces, and I really hope that you enjoyed the time that I took. And so everybody, good night and blessed be.